Imagine getting murdered on a packed subway train, surrounded by witnesses. Yet the killer completely vanishes without a single trace. This wasn't some movie script. It was a cold October night in Seattle, and the police were utterly clueless. For a whole year, the file gathered dust, until an unexpected breakthrough turned this cold case completely upside down. Let's rewind to October 17th, when wealthy real estate hotshot Ryan Carter boarded the late-night commuter train downtown. The neon lights outside bled through the rain-slicked windows as a tall stranger in a black raincoat sat across. Nobody on that train thought twice about the guy until Ryan suddenly gasped, clutched his chest, and collapsed cold. Commuters panicked, assuming it was just a sudden heart attack. But the medical examiner quickly uncovered a terrifying reality. Hidden right behind Ryan's ear was a tiny puncture mark, a lethal dose of a rare, untraceable neurotoxin. This wasn't a tragic medical emergency. It was a calculated, cold-blooded assassination executed right in plain sight. The mystery deepens because security cameras at the next stop caught the raincoat guy slipping into the shadows. The endless Seattle downpour completely blurred the outdoor lenses, leaving detectives with zero facial recognition or clear leads. Forensic teams combed every inch of that train car, but found absolutely no fingerprints, DNA, or murder weapon. 11 painful months dragged on, and frustrated investigators finally hit a total brick wall, letting the case go cold. But Ryan's younger brother, Ethan Carter, simply refused to let his brother's killer walk away free from this crime. He looked completely shattered by the grief, constantly sobbing during press conferences while begging the public for any information. Desperate for answers, Ethan dropped serious cash to hire Jack Mercer, a legendary ex-homicide detective famous for impossible cases. The local media absolutely loved the story, praising Ethan as the ultimate loyal brother chasing justice for his family. Absolutely, nobody suspected a thing. They just saw a grieving young man trying to heal a broken heart. Jack Mercer didn't trust old police reports, so he started the entire investigation completely from scratch, checking everything. While scanning through overlooked crime scene photos, Jack spotted something incredibly weird beneath a rusted transit station bench. A discarded paper coffee cup was sitting there, completely ignored by the lazy beat cops during the initial sweep. Jack rushed it to a private lab, and forensics miraculously pulled a clean, partial fingerprint from the smooth paper. The print matched a brilliant but deeply troubled former biomedical engineer in the system named Victor Hale. For the first time in nearly a year, this dead-end investigation finally had a living, breathing suspect to chase. Jack started digging into Hale's background and quickly discovered that the poor guy's life was an absolute train wreck. Victor had gone totally broke after his beloved wife tragically passed away from a severe, treatable medical illness. She lost access to a cutting-edge experimental drug trial because a greedy corporate entity bought out the clinic. That ruthless company belonged to none other than Ryan Carter, the man murdered on the train that night. Victor Hale had even gone on public rants online, openly cursing wealthy developers for destroying innocent people's lives. The motive was staring Jack right in the face. It was pure, unadulterated, dish-best-served cold revenge against the elite. Next, Jack tracked down grainy surveillance footage from a dark parking garage located just 2 blocks away. The video quality was absolute garbage, but the blurry silhouette perfectly matched Victor Hale's distinct height and posture. A judge signed a search warrant immediately, and a tactical team tracked Victor to a remote cabin outside Spokane. They kicked the door down and discovered a makeshift lab containing the exact chemical compounds used in the neurotoxins. Local news stations exploded with breaking coverage, flashing Victor's mugshot everywhere as Seattle celebrated the massive arrest. Victor screamed his innocence to the cameras, swearing he was framed. But absolutely nobody believed a word he said. The upcoming trial was a total slam dunk. Prosecutors had the fingerprint, the motive, and the smoking gun chemicals. Every single piece of evidence pointed directly at Victor. And the jury didn't even hesitate to convict him. Sentenced to life without parole, Victor was locked away forever, and the city finally breathed a sigh of relief. Ryan Carter finally had his justice, and Jack Mercer became an overnight celebrity for solving another impossible case. The file was officially closed, the public moved on, and everything appeared to be a perfect textbook ending. 3 months later, however, Jack Mercer found himself staring at his ceiling at 3 a.m., unable to sleep. Something was gnawing at the back of his mind. One tiny, annoying detail just didn't make any sense. It was the coffee cup. That fingerprint had been found in pristine condition after a year of Seattle rain. Paper cups dissolve in weeks, and torrential downpours should have washed away any skin oils within 24 hours. The more Jack analyzed the timeline, the more he realized that the evidence was just a little too perfect. He secretly slipped back into the evidence locker to re-examine every single clue they used to convict Victor. The fingerprint, the blurry garage footage, the convenient chemical traces in the cabin. They all shared one common denominator. None of those crucial items were discovered during the initial massive police sweep right after the murder occurred. They only popped up after Ethan Carter entered the picture and handed Jack those specific leads to follow. The grieving, heartbroken brother, who everyone trusted, was actually the one pulling all the strings behind the scenes. A freezing chill ran straight down Jack's spine as he realized he had been played like a fiddle. Jack pulled Ethan's secret financial, phone, and travel records, using an old buddy from the department for help. There it was. 6 months before the murder, Ethan used a shell company to buy the exact neurotoxin overseas. The real story finally clicked into place. Ryan wasn't killed by a vengeful stranger, but by his brother. For years, Ryan controlled the massive family real estate empire and planned to completely cut Ethan out of it. Ethan discovered the hidden inheritance paperwork, snapped, and decided his brother needed to be permanently removed from life. But pulling off the murder wasn't enough. Ethan needed a perfect fall guy to keep the cops off him. He spent months researching unsolved local crimes until he found Victor Hale, a broken man with a perfect motive. Ethan meticulously planted the fresh coffee cup, manipulated the garage footage, and hid the chemical traces near Spokane. Jack hadn't solved an impossible mystery. He had been carefully guided through a sinister maze like a lab rat. Jack rushed to the authorities, but Ethan had vanished, leaving a postcard reading, "You were always my favorite detective." Now, innocent Victor Hale languishes behind bars forever, while the real killer relaxes at a sunny South American cafe, staring directly into the camera with a freezing smile. Ethan watches the waves as the case is officially closed. If this story stayed with you, please subscribe, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear this. I'll see you soon.